Hey all, how are you? Welcome back, Jackson M. Haskell here. So the quick announcement is that the video coming after this on the 18th of September, which I'm filming right now. We're actually talking about season 7, not season 7 of Tales from the Crypt TV show, which is really cool. I'm really excited. I'm so happy to say that on September 21st, we're going to be talking about our next TV show, which that video will just be a quick overview. We're going to be talking about Freddy's Nightmares, which is really cool. I am super excited. But if you're looking for a non-TV show, we got you covered because on September 23rd, the day after, we're going to be talking about Friday the 13th, Part 2 for Let's Talk Horror. I'm really excited for that movie. Friday films I've always been interested. But here we go. We're talking about Season 7 Tales from the Crypt, which was released all in 1998. The thing we're going to find with these is, especially, the Season 7's different. It was all filmed in Britain, so we're going to see a lot of British characters and actors, for the most part. A lot of them I've never heard of. But here we go. Fatal Keeper is the first episode. It's Sorcerer's Tales from the Crypt number 20. It was directed by Bob Hoskins and written by Coleman DK and A.L. Katz and Gilbert Adler. April 19th, 1996. I'm going to mention Bob Hoskins really quick. Anthony Parker on Pennies from Heaven, who was in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Mermaids, Mona Lisa, Long Good Friday. I don't really recognize him. Super Mario Brothers movie in 1993, where he played Mario, which is cool. A Christmas Carol in 2009. Hook from 1991, among other. And he sadly passed away in 2014. Okay, so next let's talk about... So, Lord Mycroft Amberson, played by Leslie Phillips, a wealthy elderly man with a weak heart, adds a stipulation to his will. The stipulation mentions that his two sons, a womanizing Justin, played by Greg Wise, and the greedy Evelyn, played by James Saxon, must locate their long-lost brother, Frank, within a certain amount of time, or else risk having their inheritance be given away to charity. We also have a starring Natasha Richardson and Bob Hoskins. Leslie Phillips I've actually heard of before. Sadly passed away in 2022. Carry On, and Doctor in the House. The News Navy Lark. He was in Venus alongside Peter O'Toole. Peter O'Toole, famous actor from Lawrence of Arabia, is what I know him from. But yeah, then we also have him in Harry Potter. He voices the Sorting Hat in 3 of the Harry Potter films, which is cool. And just looks like a really well-known actor. Just make sure I don't recognize him from anything else, because you never know. His first role, 1938. Final role would have been 2022, but just really cool. I just know him from Harry Potter, like I said. We also have Greg Wise, Sense and Sensibility, where he played John Willoughby. Later married to Emma Thompson. Emma Thompson's a really famous actress. Men in Black as well. I know her from, I think, among other stuff. But, we're not going to talk about her because she's not in this episode. But Greg Wise, I've never heard of a lot of these British actors, so I'm not used to him. But yeah, played Justin Amberson. James Saxon. Always gonna get confused with the other famous Saxon, John Saxon, but we're not talking about that one. He sadly passed away in 2003. Not a lot of stuff. Only Prince and the Pauper, Les Miserables in 1998, where he plays Charlotte. But yeah, don't really recognize him. Then Natalia Richardson sadly passed away in 2009. Redgrave's family, which I don't know anything about him. He married Shelley and Ken Russell's Gothic and Patty Hearst in the 1998 film Patty Hearst. Handmaid's Tale, The Parent Trap, Anna Christie, White Countess. But yeah. Let's talk about episode 2, Last Respects. Just trying to think what I was looking for. Okay. So, Last Respects was from source was Tales from Crypt number 23. It was directed by Freddie Francis and written by Scott Nimforo. April 26, 1996. Freddie Francis, never heard of him. Looks like a really well-known picture. Oh, okay. Best known for horror films. So, when we cover more Hammer films and Amicus, we're probably going to recognize him. Which is cool. Elephant Man, he worked on, which is iconic. Jigsaw Man, Return to Oz, he assisted on. Evil Frankenstein, he directed Dr. Terror's House of Horrors. That'd be cool. Skull, Dracula is risen from the grave. Trog, they come from beyond space, amongst other projects, which is cool. So, Yvonne, played by Emma Sams. Dolores, played by Carrie Fox. And Marley's Finger, played by Julie Cox, are three sisters who bicker one another constantly. Left in charge of their late father's struggling curiosity shop, they discover a monkey's paw in a box of items. Thinking they may have found a way to shut out their financial troubles, Marley's and Yvonne use the wish for riches, but their riches are not without tragic consequences. Let's talk about these three actresses. Emma Sams has played Holly Sutton on General Hospital, also in the show Doctors as Amanda for Dallas, which is cool. That's the reason I know her. Carrie Fox, she played Janet Frame in Angel at the Table, which is a film by Jane Campion. Okay. Then Julie Fox played Frances Yarlin in Frank Herbert's Dune miniseries and 2003 sequel, Frank Herbert's Children of Dune. She also appeared in Childlike Empress and Never Ending Story Part 3. Which is cool. Okay, next episode. Slight Case Murder. Fall of Horrors, number 33. Directed and written by Brian Helgeland. Brian Helgeland wrote screenplays for LA Confidential and Mystic River. He also wrote and directed movie 42. About Jackie Robinson. And Legend, about the rise of the infamous rise and fall of the Cray twins of London. Famous mystery novelist. That was May 3rd, 1996. Famous mystery novelist Sharon Bannister, played by Francesca Annis, is repeatedly pestered by her noisy neighbor, Mrs. Trask, played by Elizabeth Spriggs, who wants to advise to see if her own writing is good as Sharon's. One day, Sharon is held at gunpoint by her jealous ex-husband, Larry, played by Christopher Casanova, who excuses her of cheating with Mrs. Trask's son, Joey, played by Patrick Barlow, leading a suspenseful game of cat and mouse among all parties. cool. Let's talk about them. Francis Annis, Crawl, Dune, Debt Collector, Libertine. She was in Dune from '84, which is cool. Cranford, Reckless, Wives and Daughters, Deceit. And she was in ITV show Lily. Elizabeth Spriggs, I've never heard of. Oh. So I'm actually wrong. She was in the original Harry Potter, where she plays a portrait of a fat lady, which is cool. But otherwise, I've never heard of her. And Christopher Casanova, I'd never heard of. He sadly passed away in 2010. Knight's Tale, Shadowrun. But yeah, don't really know him. Hammer House of Horror. And I've never heard of Patrick Barlow before either, sadly. Next episode is episode 4, Vault of Horrors, called Escape. Vault of Horrors number 16. Directed by Peter McDonald and written by Al Cast and Gilbert Adler. So I've actually heard of, in May 17th, 1996, I've actually heard of Peter McDonald before. He worked on things such as Guardians of the Galaxy, Bourne Ultimatum, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, where he was a second unit director for those. During World War II, Lieutenant Lugger, played by Martin Kemp, a German POW stuck in a British prison camp, leads in an attempt to escape from the prison camp. When he and his companions are caught, Lugger shamelessly rats out his fellow prisoners in exchange for additional privileges during incarceration. Learning that one of his men he betrayed is alive in recovery, Lugger attempts to silence him before another team of escapees joins together, but finds out about his treason. Which is cool. Martin Kemp begins his sort of splendid ballet in first role of Steve Owens in EastEnders. Younger brother of Gary Kemp, but I don't really know who the rest. Okay, we're getting to the end. Horror in the Night. Source was Vault of Horrors number 12, directed by Russell Mulcahy and written by John Harrison. May 12, 1996. Jewel, we talked about both of them before. Jewel Thief, Nick Marvin, played by James Wilby, is double-crossed by his partner T, played by Ronan Vibert, and hides out in a nearby hotel after being shot in the shoulder. Once inside, Nick is haunted by many disturbing visions and occurrences inside the hotel, and reported is visited by Laura, played by Elizabeth McGovern, a beautiful woman that only he can see, who seems to have ulterior motives. We also have Peter Guinness, too, in this. James Wilby, I've never heard of him, probably. But yeah, just a lot of films. I don't recognize him, sadly. Ronan Vibert, never recognized him either. Oh, Shadow the Vampire. Saving Mr. Banks. He was in The Snowman with Michael Fassbender. And he sadly passed away in 2022. Elizabeth McGovern, I've actually heard of her more so. Once Upon a Time in America, Core, Council Graham, Grantham, and Downton Abbey. Wings of the Dove, she's having a baby, Handmaid's Tale, amongst other projects, which is cool. And Peter Guinness, I feel like I've seen him before and stuff. For sure. Okay. I've definitely seen him for Left Talk. I don't know if we covered it yet, but when we do, we're gonna see him in a couple things. Alien 3 is what I know him from, where he played Gregor. And he was also Desaad in Zack Snyder's Justice League. I don't know if I know him from anything else, but, and he played Mr. Star. But yeah. Okay, we got some big actors in this one. Cold War Sources, Tales from the Crypt number 43. Directed by Andy Moran. And written by Scott Nimfero, May 13th, 1996. I've never heard of Andy Moran. Brother of Hattie, or Haiti. Mostly yeah, I've never heard of him. Highlander 2, Boogeyman, Murder in Mind. But let's talk about the cast, because we have someone who actually I know. Kim Heat, played by Jane Horrocks, and Ford, played by Ewan McGregor, are a loving couple who try to make a living as criminals in London. Their turpitude with a life of crime leaves them trying to rob a bank, where it turns out they've been banded, and then failing to rob a patrol station when a gang of bikers beat them to it. Having enough of Ford's attitude towards her, Cammy decides to leave him. She meets attractive Jimmy Pickett, played by Colin Salmon. In a bar, brings him home, but seems reminded about why she and Ford are perfect for each other. But yeah, let's talk about these three. Jane Horrocks, never heard of her. Bubbly and Keegan, and absolutely fabulous. Rise and Fall, Little Voice. Cool. Ewan McGregor, Star Wars. So I know. And also Trainspotting. He plays the younger Obi-Wan Kenobi. Then Colin Salmon. Or Salmon. I don't know. General Zod in Krypton. Blood and Truth. East enters as George Knight. He was Charles Robinson in 3 James Bond films. And James One Shade in Resident Evil. Which is cool. Next up, The Kidnapper. Shock Suspense Stories number 12, written by James H. Spencer and written by John H. Harrison, Scott Nimfero. June 7th, 1996. Danny Skaggs, played by Coogan. Steve Coogan. A simple-minded and delusional pawnshop owner meets Teresa, played by Julia Saloa. A heavily pregnant homeless woman who he takes in over time to being developing a pawn, but whereas Teresa only sees Danny as a friend, Danny falls in love with her. Danny began insanely envious when Teresa's child is born, so he sets out to get rid of the child in hopes that Teresa will love him. When Teresa becomes too overwhelmed with emotion to respond to his advances, Danny races to find the baby and return it to her, which is cool. Steve Coogan plays Alan Partridge, creating and playing Alan Partridge. Really famous character. I just know him from stuff. Chris Morris on The Hour. He worked with Amanda Iannucci and Chris Morris on The Hour and the Day Today. I have Alan Partridge. But yeah. Let's check if I recognize anything else. I don't really. Splitting Image. Dan Laurel and Stan Holly. Julia Saloa. Safi Morrison. We have Morrison on Absolutely Fabulous. She was Linda Day in Press Gang. Hannah Grayshot in Second Thoughts, Lydia Bennett in Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice, Georgina Kidd's Boys and Sheep. But yeah, Chicken Run, she was also in Absolutely Fabulous, the movie. Next up, Report from the Grave. Vault of Horrors number 15. William Malone wrote and directed it. Wrote and directed. July 14th, 1996. Elliot, played by James Frain. A paranormal researcher invites Vince Machine Vet is able to collect the thoughts from the dead and try to read the thoughts of a maniacal serial killer and hypnotist Vladimir Timrek, played by Roger Ashton Griffiths. Elliot hunts the device too far and ends up killing his girlfriend, Ariane, played by Siobhan Flynn. Elliot becomes determined to resurrect Ariane at any cost, but discovers that Timrek's ghost is working against him. Okay. James Fran, Thomas Caldwell, and the Tudors, Franklin Mott in True Blood, Ward the Kingmaker and White Queen, Theo Galvaran, Azrael in Gotham, he plays Sarek in Star Trek Discovery. I just know more from Azrael and Theo Gallivan in Gotham, because I grew up with that show. Roger Ashton Griffiths, Mace Tyrell, and Game of Thrones. Next up, Smoke Wings Vault of Horror number 34, directed by Mandy Fletcher, written by Lisa Sandoval, June 21st, 1996. I don't know if I've heard of her. Did Levi's Absolutely Fabulous, the movie. Oh, okay. So kind of cool connection there. Advertising executive Jacqueline, played by Ute Lempa, ends up hiring Barry, played by Daniel Craig, an ex-convict into her firm, despite the lack of knowledge in advertising. Barry shows off a strange device which carries as able to hypnotize people, plant suggestions into their minds, hoping to increase product sales. And what Jacqueline doesn't know is that Barry, in exchange for not being able to send back to jail, is linked with her enraged ex-partner Alistair Stone, played by Paul Freeman, who seeks to revenge against her after she stole the company from him. Okay, so I've heard of two of these people just by what I just saw. Ute Lempa, never heard of her. Cabaret, where she plays Sally Bowles. But yeah, Daniel Craig. I know him from James Bond. He was in James Bond and Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Skyfall, Spectre, and No Time to Die, which is cool. Logan Lucky, Defiance, Othello, and New York Theater. Girl with Dragon Tattoo, Cowboys and Aliens. But yeah. Then we go Paul Freeman. I've actually recognized him. Actually, I've recognized him in two stuff, weirdly enough. Played Renee Bullock in Raiders of the Lost Ark in 1981. Evil Wine Baron, Gustav Riebman in Falcon Crest. Ivan Ooze in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in the movie. Yeah, next episode about Face Haunt Fear number 27, directed by Thomas E. Sanders and by Larry Wilson, A.L. Katz, and Gilbert Adler, June 28th, 1996. Hook, Bram Stoker's Dracula, Braveheart, Saving Private Ryan, Apocalypto, and Crimson Peak. He sadly passed away in 2017. In Victorian England, Reverend Jonathan, played by Anthony Andrews, a corrupt and adulterous priest, discovers that he is long lost father of 2 daughters, beautiful and gentle Angelica, and the angry and deformed Leah, played by Anna Friel, in a double role. Deciding that the family would be too good for his image, Jonathan decides to adopt the girls as his own, but Leah, in a murderous rage, vows to kill their father for abandoning them. And we also have Imelda Staunton in this too. Anthony Andrews, I've never heard of him, probably. Sebastian Flight in Brides Dead Revisited, Options Daybreak, Danger UXB, King's Speech of Stanley Baldwin. Anna Friel, never heard of her. Pushing Daisies, Emmett Serves My Dream, The Last Girls, U, Breakfast at Tiffany's, West End, Uncle Vanya, and also West End. Staunton, I've never heard of her. Uncle Vanya, Wizard of Oz, Beggar's Opera, Into the Woods. Next up, Confession, Shock Suspense Stories, number 4. Directed by Peter Hewitt, written by Scott Nimfro, July 5th, 96. I've never heard of Peter Hewitt. Okay, Bill and Bed's Bogus Headset Journey. Garfield, the movie. He worked on Zoom, which is a movie. Mostly Ghostly, Have You Met My Girlfriend? A serial killer is on the rampage in nearby city, decapitating women, taking their body heads as trophies. Horror screenwriter Warhol Evans, played by Eddie Izzard, is labeled as a prime suspect when he is found washing his hands, presumably cleaning off the blood, near the latest crime scene. He is interrogated by famous detective Jack Lynch, played by C.R.N. Hines, who attempts to take him. Labeled as a killer, but Evans does not go down a fight, trying to turn the occasion around. So, okay. Eddie Izzard. Little bit Ambassadors, Dressed to Kill, Glorious, Stripped, Wonder Bar. C.R.N. Hines. I feel like we've not seen. Okay. I know from Harry Potter. Usually now. But yeah, no, from Harry Potter. If I remember, he would have played one of the Dark Wizards. But I'm just gonna make sure. So he played Aberforth in Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows Part 2. And Mance Raider in Games of Thrones Season 3 and 4 and 5. Okay, next episode. Year Today, Gone Tomorrow. Haunt of Fear number 11. Directed by Christopher Hart and written by Ed Tapia. Glenn Fennell, played by Robert Lindsay, a gambling safecracker who suffers from impaired vision after being in prison, finds himself getting entangled in the deadly game between mob boss Malcolm Lawson, played by Richard Johnson, and his exotic wife Kate, played by Gretchen Palmer. Returns her to implant animal features into human bodies, attempt to boost his subordinate's abilities. Eventually, Glenn is given auditory with an owl, but Glenn's new condition soon displays some usual side effects. Robert Lindsay. I've never heard of him. Probably. Nope. Elephant, Mistress of Evil, Gallivant, Spy, Genius, McDonald and Dobbs, Susan Smith as Wolf, and Ben Harper and My Family. Richard Johnson sadly passed away in 2015. I've never heard of him, sadly. Gretchen Palmer, never heard of her. Wishmaster, where she was Ariella, which is a cool movie for Let's Talk Horror. Freddy's Nightmares, where she plays Tracy Mallard, an episode, which is kind of cool because we're covering that next. She plays Kate Lawson in this episode. Last but not least, we have the third pig, based on the Three Little Pigs. One of the directors is Bill Klopp, and Pat Ventura, and written by Bill Klopp. Bill Klopp is an animator and a voice actor. Better Off Dead, One Crazy Summer, Tom and Jerry, Blast Off Mars, Pup Named Scooby-Doo, Eek a Cat, Baby Huey Show, What a Cartoon, Tales from the Crypt, where he's a writer and director, and storyboard person. Yeah, House and Mouse. But yeah, so an animated edition of The Three Little Pigs is directed by Crypt Keeper himself. The Big Bad Wolf, voiced by Bobcat Goldthwait. Slaughter's Drinky Pig, played by Brad Garrett, is Smokey, played by Charles Adler. Even the third pig, Dudley, played by Cam Clark, which is cool. Accused of murders and found guilty by a rigged jury of wolves. The ghosts of his dead brothers help him escape. Dudley plans to take revenge on the Big Bad Wolf by using a lab once owned by mad scientists to create a zombie pig, also boasted by Brad Garrett. We also other actors are played by Corey Burton, then Jim Cummings. And this is the only animated episode of the series. It's animation from Nelvana. We also produced an animated spin-off, Tales from the Crypt Keeper, which is cool. Brad Garrett, Robert Baroni, and Everyone Loves Raymond. It's cool. Night in the Museum, where he plays Easterhead Island. That trilogy. Two Stupid Dogs, where he plays Big Dog. He also helped create Big Shot with David Kelly and Dean Lorre. Michael Adler, Charlie Adler, Buster Bunny on Tiny Toon Adventures, The Big Heads, Ed and Bev on Rocco's Modern Life, Sabretooth and others. Ickis on Real Monsters, Dr. Doom, Wrecker, Sabretooth and others on Superhero Squad Show, MODOK and various Marvel media, Cobra Commander and G.I. Joe Resolute and Renegades, Starscream and Transformers films, Cow, Chicken and Red Guy and Cow and Chicken, Mr. Whiskers and Brandy and Mr. Whiskers, Professor Monkey for a Head, and Earthworm Jim. But yeah, a lot of shows I grew up on. We've mentioned Cam Clark before. I don't know why. I was gonna make sure. Probably a TV show. But Aladdin, he was the voice in 1992. The voice of Simba and singing voice. Marcus Brutus and Shadow of Rome, which is a game. Just in this episode of Tales in the Crypt, but I've seen for some reason something else. I'm trying to think what it was. It was probably this. Played also Leonardo and Rocksteady and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, 87-96. Spider-Man replaced Mr. Fantastic. Oh, okay. So the reason I know him, Star Wars. He was Omir in Star Wars Clone Wars, which is a rookie. But another person we're talking about actually has connections here. Corey Burton's Star Wars. Corey Burton, Count Dooku, and Cad Bane in Star Wars franchises. Brainiac in the DCAU, which is DC animated universe, like Batman animated series, stuff like that. Ludwig von Drake in Walt Disney Company. Shockwave on Transformers. Captain Hook. Hugo Strange in Batman Arkham City. Zeus in Gods of War. And last but not least, and Office, we have Jim Cummings, Tigger, and Winnie the Pooh. Also, Winnie the Pooh since '98. Tasmanian Devil, or Taz, since 1991. And Pete since 1992. But yeah, Cat and Cat Dog, Police Chief Glutus, Ozzy and Drix, Ray and Princess and the Frog, amongst other projects, which is really cool. It's always kind of cool seeing someone you recognize. But yeah, like I said, the video coming after this on September 19th. We're going to be talking about Star Wars Rebels overview. I don't know if I mentioned at the beginning, but yeah, September 19th, we're going to be talking about Star Wars Rebels overview. Which is cool. Next Let's Talk Horror is for a TV show. September 21st, we're covering Freddy's Nightmare, which is cool. And if you're looking for movies, September 23rd, we're going to be covering Friday the 13th, part 2 for Let's Talk Horror. And I hope you all enjoy. Bye-bye.